so much for joining me on today's Ascension Walk series, episode number 18, that is about divine thirst and divine hunger. For joining me. Sorry about that. So I wanted to speak to you about divine thirst and divine hunger, as it is truly a very different consciousness than the human experience goes through. So before I go into it, I just want to thank all of you that are joining me once again, watching my videos. And those of you who are new to my channel, welcome you. My channel is all about embodiment of ascension, truly living from your inner Christ light that you have remembered. So that in which I'm sharing is all about supporting you to embody and live from your ascension. So in this episode, I want to dive in a little bit about this thirst that we have from our soul's perspective versus the human perspective. So the human self gets thirsty, the human self gets hungry, and it's thirsty not just for physical like drinks, but it's thirsty for other things in this life. And on a human level, its senses really kicks in where it is truly hungry. It's hungry for food, so it can't think properly. Its emotions is all over the place. The body starts showing signs of hunger. And for those who've been fasting, they go through a lot of detoxification process just because they begin experiencing the bodily senses, and to be able to calm the bodily senses, they're going to have to face the emotions, and to face the emotions, they're going to have to meet it with the mind, and the mind taking mind over matter, taking control over it, and there's a whole process of that. And it is really important. It's really important because we're in the body to be able to embrace what we're thirsty for, what on a physical level, what our body is really truly thirsty for, because often we are dehydrated anyway. So that's a whole nother topic where the sodium and the potassium are not quite properly adjusted inside our cells, so within and without of it. So as a result, even the water we're drinking is not getting into the cells. And let me not just go into all the conversations about the water. The water that most people even drink is not quality water where the cell knows how to then do what it is designed to do, what God designed it to do. So that's a whole nother video which I'll get into later on, why we drink super advanced quantum molecular hydrogen water. And that's part of our association anyway. We really take this into awareness how important it is, so that we drink quality liquid light in our body. So there are a bunch of videos, by the way, that you can go into my my YouTube channel, and you can learn all about the company that we work with, and there's a code that you can use to get 10% off. Anyway, coming back here, so thirsty, there's a lot to try to quench this thirst on a human level. And a lot of times, we are exercising, or we are in movement, or our body's not going through proper metabolism or digestion, or enzyme balance is off. So all of this is happening that ties into hunger and all of that. But what I am speaking about today is a different thirst. Have you ever noticed in your greater awareness that there's a different thirst in life, that no matter what, it's like a taste that your soul wants to experience, that it cannot be accomplished with what you're drinking? Because it's like the water, the drinks that you're having can't quite quench that thirst. And there's that recognition, wait a minute, this thirst is something else. It's coming from my soul. My soul is thirsty to experience something very different. And usually from that place, when that awareness kicks in, the thirst and the hunger has a complete different vibration, has a complete different vision, has a complete different inner sight. And with that, there's no irritation, there's no frustration, there's no dissatisfaction. If anything, there's the craziest passion and fuel behind that thirst and hunger. And that's a very, very big difference, because when it comes to the human body's senses, when it's thirsty or if it is hungry, whether it's lightheaded, can't function, has headache or dizziness and what have you, and it's often associated with what we call hangry, right? Hungry and angry, or exhaustion, overwhelm, what have you. But what I am speaking about is deep passion. There's a spark in your eye. You're hungry to experience this. You're thirsty to experience this, and you want your human vessel to experience that. So there is the consciousness of the awareness of the soul presence that is so present in your body, that is knocking and trying to open that door within, so that it can communicate, wait a minute, this is not it. I am thirsty for this. For example, I was walking on the beach the other morning, going for my morning walk after meditation. And because I've had my menstruation and I'm inside this beautiful mini pause stage, it happened to be much more heavier in my menstruation. So as I was walking, I noticed my physical body was more tired, and it was hot, and it was more lightheaded and thirsty. And I take a 1 hour walk. So I had gone halfway, and I was like, wow, I'm gonna walk back. And my human self was quite experiencing it. And I just paused for a second and noticed that my human self was thirsty, and it seemed like I'm around water. The mouth was quite dry, and again the lightheadedness was there and a little bit lethargic. So I paused for a second and I closed my eyes, and I just got really, really quiet. As I got really quiet, suddenly within myself, this kind of like a window open, and within there was this awareness that I am thirsty for something else. And I just tuned into that, and then it started getting exciting regarding the thirst that I was thirsty for. So I just stayed with it more. I just stood there closing my eyes and just noticing this brightness coming over me. And what was that thirst? And as I allowed it more, I noticed my soul is thirsty for certain experiences in life. And there was this awareness of this kind of like a flame of joy starting to not ignite in me, but come online in me. And then from that, from above me, I noticed that, wow, my consciousness is sort of stepping back a little bit. I'm talking about my human consciousness, and my soul essence is stepping more forward. And suddenly there's this alignment that is synchronizing. And it was like as if the liquid light from source of creation and the wellspring began pouring down. As it began pouring down, it was just this joyous images of all these soul's desire that wants to fulfill the divine earth mission. And from that, it is like pouring, like raining down, and this raining liquid light, this golden light that was pouring down through, almost like a column where I was standing on the beach, was coming in, and I began noticing that my human self started to experience as if inside of its cells it was becoming hydrated. It was receiving water, and there was fluid movement, fluidity, and it was so profound. As I stood there and I started taking my steps, I was like, wow, I'm not thirsty anymore. I'm not dizzy anymore. Wow, look, my human self like isn't even tired anymore. So my pace in walking back started getting quite faster, and more joy, clarity, fabulousness, and then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna stop now because I want to see what is it. Show me what is thirsty for, but what is it hungry for? So I started doing the same thing, applying the same, so that I could discover what was my soul hungry for. And it was so beautiful to witness what the soul was hungry for, which I saw the distinction that from a soul's perspective, that it was hungry, it wanted to fulfill certain thing. And from a soul's perspective, being thirsty, it just wanted to have certain experiences. So it was quite the distinction between both. And my human self felt so grateful to have been involved with this, and my soul was able to include my human vessel. So as a result, the hunger wasn't there, the thirst wasn't there. It seemed like my body adjusted in its bodily needs and senses, and again, this is when we begin attuning to our inner Christ light. That Christ light is very real, is not outside of us. It is right here, available to every single one of us. And it is only, first we got to believe in it. Second, we got to be aware of it. Third, we got to start accessing it so that we can experience the mechanics of it. And this is why I wanted to do this video, because it was a direct experience that I can just share with you. As always, anything that is of direct experience I share. It's nothing I've read in a book, nothing that anybody else has said. My own direct journey of experience, I bring it on, and if it resonates with you, great. If it doesn't, great. I'm not here to win anyone's opinion. I'm simply here to share, and you can apply it and for you to experience it on your own. And for those of you that will, let me know how it goes for you. I cannot wait to experience so much more of this, because it was truly a wonderment. And let me know if you have any questions that I can answer. I really appreciate you're here. I really love that you subscribe to my channel. I'm going to start doing a lot more videos. I do go away next week for necessary vacation, but I'll be uploading a video for you. And please feel free to share this if it resonated with you. And I appreciate you very much. Thank you so much for being here. Have a beautiful, blessed day.